80 to 90% of us living here are native Kashmiris. We come from Azad Kashmir, and some actually are migrated from the occupied territory of Kashmir. And we all come here. Not only we are some of us, even though we are first generation of Muslims, but also a second generation which is Muslims, but our ancestry, our background comes from Kashmir. Is important to where you come from, and especially for the youth, that we understand our history and the reason behind what is happening in the current affairs today, and understand in that the context of how this is the way of the Prophet ﷺ and the way of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, that to gain something, to gain recognition, there has to be some sort of sacrifice. And a night of this, where we're suffering in Palestine, where we're suffering in Kashmir, in Yemen, Iraq, Iran, and throughout the time, from the times of the prophets, from the prime Prophet Muhammad ﷺ to this time onwards. There's a verse I read to you today. May Allah Almighty make us understand this. Inshallah. Ameen, thumma ameen. Surah Nisa, verse 75 states, Allah Almighty says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, wa ma lakum la tuqatiluna fi sabilillah. And those who fight in the way of Allah, wal mustad'afin. And amongst those who are fighting, there are some who are weak. Minal rijal, of men, wal nisa, of women, wal wildan, and of children. Alladhina yaquluna, and they say to their Lord, Rabbana, or they cry out to their Lord, Akhrij lana min hazil qaryati zalimi ahluha. Take out those amongst us who live and oppress us. Take out those amongst us who are oppressors. Waj'al lana min ladunka waliyan. O Allah, from your grace, send us someone who can become our protector. Waj'al lana min ladunka nasira. O Allah, and from your grace, send someone to us who can become our helper. So two words are wali and a nasir. A person who not just helps, also protects us. And this ayat was revealed at the time the Prophet ﷺ, that many have done the hijrah to Medina Shareef with the Prophet ﷺ, but many had stayed back in Mecca because they were weak, they were oppressed. They did not have the means to come over and do the hijrah. Because their family members were so overpowering them, they were not allowed to do the hijrah. So the Muslims were told at that time, don't forget them. Keep your struggle, keep your voices high, so that one day they can become free and they can also rejoin with the rest of the Muslims. Or at least we can go back there and we can give them freedom. We can take over that land and make it a land of purity and a land of oneness, proclaiming Tawheed, a land of where Allah Almighty's faith, deen is established. And alhamdulillah, that's what happened many years later. The Prophet ﷺ came with the Sahaba Kiram and they Fatah Makkah, the conquest of Makkah. Now why is that very important today? Because this ayat shows us even today it is important. Every single ayat of Quran is established as a universal message that can be acted upon, implemented towards the end of time. So as we see today, there's a struggle going on around the Muslim world, especially two very hot points, flashpoints we see that we're struggling for some time now. One is Palestine, which alhamdulillah, I spent some Jummahs talking about many years ago. Alhamdulillah, Allah Almighty has gifted me a good memory that I remember each and every Jummah I talk about to an extent. And then something that I've not touched upon, new for me, and I'm going to learn from this myself, I'm going to keep on learning more and more, is the conflict that's happened in Kashmir now. Now we need to understand about Kashmir. The word Kashmir is etymology, its origin. What is its origin? It came from the ancient times. There was an ascetic, a person who belonged to one of the Asian religions. Some say he was a Buddhist, some say he just had followed a local religion at that time. His name was Kashyapa. And from his name, Kashyapa, came the name Kashmapara. And from Kashmapara, then came, from there, the derivative came the word Kashmir. So it was named after a person He was just wandering through this area and he saw many beautiful places, like rivers and lakes and beautiful scenery and mountains, and he just wanted to stay there. At that time there was hardly any population there. This land also was known to the Greeks as well, and it's written in their chronicles as well, in their historical records. So, firstly, what was established to Kashmir is not nothing new. It's not something that just was created in 1947, no. This is a land which was very, very ancient land. Many thousand years ago. And then it became a center of Buddhist learning under the Emperor Ashoka. And then after that, time went on, and then there were Hindu rulers. For us, the most important is the land. Now, I'm not here to give a history lesson because it's a very long lesson, but just important to give us an overview of understanding our religion. It's very important that if you live in a region, if you live in a place, you should understand its history of where the Muslim the influence came on and when did Islam come about. So when did Islam come? It was in 1346. This is the date. 1346. Alhamdulillah, the first dynasty of Muslims ruled over Kashmir. They were known as the Mir Shah dynasty. Now, when Mir Shah coming in there, he didn't convert the population. He left it to the people coming. And then many awliya came after that. It was the awliya Allah, the Sufis, who came and they populated land. One of them, who is very renowned, and his mazar is still there, he's known as Shah Hamadan, Mir Sayyid Ali Hamadani, Rahmatullah, who belonged to the Kuburai order, which is one of the branches of Sukhwardi order. There's 4 branches, Qadriya, Naqshbandiya, Chishtiya, Sukhwardiya. And he came over Hamadan. Hamadan is the area of Iran. And with him, he brought 700 families of Sadat, Sayyids. And they also came with him, and he settled there. And the Sultan at the time, I think it was Sultan Zainul Abidin, who was the next Sultan of the Mayshare family, he let him carry on his faith activities. So he did Tabligh of Deen there. He carried the Tabligh on Deen there, and through him, many of the local population slowly became Muslim. This is we talk about the 14th century. So we got 600-700 years ago. That's when Islam was introduced in Kashmir. And then what happened was, that time period relatively was a peaceful time period for the Kashmiri people. It was only until the Mughal Empire came in the middle of the 16th century, the 1500s, is when the Kashmiris started to feel the struggle. So when we talk about the Kashmiri struggling from 1947 onwards, or before that, or the time of the Dogras, we'll come to that as well, this is wrong. You have to read history properly. The Kashmiris have been struggling well before that. So the Kashmiri struggle of being under occupation, this happened before that. And they not lack of occupation at all. So what happened after that is the Mughal empires, especially Jalaluddin Akbar was one of the greatest Mughal empires. He tried to overtake Kashmir area and make it an area tributary. But what they used to do is to send their governors and their rulers, and sometimes themselves to go, and it's always been Kashmir, because Kashmir, as Al-Qaeda Azam said, is a place of heaven on earth. Jannat Tukra. And because they liked the scenery, they used to have their residence there, and they used to just have their holiday there. So it was like a holiday resort even in them days, from the Mughal Empire time. But they never looked after the people. They used to taxate them, they used to make them pay heavy taxes, they used to treat them as second-class citizens. And there's not much economic progress in that area. And this carried on after when Afghan rulers came. And then a time came, which is recent for us to understand, is that in 1819, the Sikh Empire, which was ruled by Ranjit Singh, he overtook Kashmir, and he made it part of his biggest Sikh kingdom, which was the Sikh Empire. It didn't last very long, it lasted about 50 years or so, from 1799 to 1849, roughly about half a century. But it was quite big. He had the whole of Punjab in this area, which is now the Sikhs claim they want a bigger independence area called Khalistan. Now, that was what happened then. And then in 1846, Ranjit Singh died. Under his generalship, he had an army, a commander-in-chief, whose name was Gulab Singh. Now he then automatically, when Ranjit died, over the fighting with the British then gave him this, and he paid something like 7.5 million rupees. He paid 7.5 million rupees to the British, and he bought the land of Kashmir, without the people knowing this. And his name was Gulab Singh, and he became the first ruler of the Dogra Empire, the Dogra Kingdom. This was in 1846. And then from 1846 onwards, then we carry on, then we have his son, his name was Ranjit Singh, and then his son Pradeep Singh, and then we have what we call recently, up until 1947, we have the final Maharaja. And this was a Hindu actually group. They were Sikh rulers, but their clan have Hindu origins. We have Maharaja Hari Singh, the last ruler. Now what happened in 1947 is now the British, obviously both sides, the Hindus and the Muslims, they were against, collectively together, they want to get rid of the British. And by 1947 they succeeded. A lot of things out here. How this came about, and the meetings they had, all these things. We're not talking about that, how Pakistan came about. We're talking about this area of Kashmir. So in 1947, then they collectively got rid of the British. But as they went out on the British, this area, there was disputes over this area. The Indians said that we want this area, and Pakistan said that we want this area. Then they left it to Hari Singh what he wanted. He said, give me some time. He initially wanted this place to be independent, Kashmir. So he had a neutral position, which is good. But then what happened was, he took a U-turn, and this was treachery on his behalf. Without asking the people, he thought that the Pakistani army will invade, and they will take over the land. Then he called out to the Indian government and said that I want Kashmir to be part of India. And then we have that article that's what we're talking about today, Article 402, whatever it is, that then India made that a sovereign area, an autonomous area where whoever lives there, we will give them a chance to live to a certain degree in autonomy. They can run their own affairs, own government, own state, own flag, and own administration. But Pakistan didn't like this. So straight away Pakistan started fighting, straight away. And the whole year they started fighting from 1948. And Pakistan by that time came to a certain area and they ruled up to a further area. And then Pakistan did retreat from there. And then the United Nations got involved, and then they passed a resolution, and then there was line control. And now this is what we see today. What we see today in the line control is a third is owned by Pakistan. Azad Kashmir is third owned by Pakistan. And then we have more than half, which is known as Maqbuza Kashmir, is owned by India. And then we have 1/5, which was gifted to China. Now, I don't know why it was gifted to China, but that's another thing. What's 1/5 by Pakistan was gifted to China area. And then we have the Baltistan, Gilgit areas, known as the northern areas. So the northern part of Kashmir is owned by Pakistan. The southern and southern eastern part, Jammu Kashmir, is by India. And then we have the northern eastern side, which is owned by China. So today, geographically, Kashmir is in three parts. Even though, as I just told you now, a brief history, Kashmir will always be independent from ancient times. Right there. But it's always been subjected to different rulers, and none of them are treated right. And even now, they don't treat them now. And now, up to this point, as I'm speaking now, this is conservative estimates. 70,000 people or more have died for the cause of trying to rebuild themselves in Kashmir. 70,000 people or more. United Nations told them that they will have a plebiscite. What is a plebiscite? Make it understand easily, not going into technical terms. It's like we have a referendum. We just had a referendum Brexit, and we choose whether we should remain part of European not. They have been told since 1948 that they are allowed to have a self-determination. Who wants to rule them? Whether they want to be independent, whether they want to be part of Pakistan, whether they want to be part of Kashmir. Now the demographics, even from the time, I was reading about this now, just doing research about this, in the old statistics, even from the time of the Dogra Kingdom time, 77% at that time, 77% of the population of Kashmir was Muslim. The rest was Hindu. And even today, that percentage is never gone below 70%. At different time periods, it's always fluctuated, but it's never gone below. So the vast majority of the state, and even the Indian government know that if they, before this article revoking, they knew that the only state that they had, which was a Muslim majority state, was Kashmir. And they were worried that this Kashmir state, either it will take two options, it will become part of Pakistan or become independent. And they don't like this. And there's many other reasons as well. Kashmir has so many resources, Kashmir has rivers in it, and either Pakistan and India, they can control Kashmir in such a way that they use it as a weapon to attack each other. So this is a brief history of this told about Kashmir and how it came about. And as Kashmir is totally not new, it's always been independent. Not 1,000 years ago, not 2,000 years ago, so many millennia. Right back in the time it was there, existed. It's always been, these people of Kashmir has always been independent, even before it became Muslim. And what we see today, this was because of the Dogra kingdom. And it started with Gulab Singh, and then carried on, and the last ruler, Hari Singh, he is the one who became the treacherous ruler. Now what I need to talk about today is this concept of what we need to do today. As we need to understand, just like, give yourself an example. Look at yourself today. We are living here, in this country. Apart from us, those people who have been in this country, and their ancestors have been in this country for many centuries, if another country invaded them and said, right, you no longer own this country, this is not your country of United Kingdom, will they accept it? No one will accept that. And they will fight for that. And that was what I was saying for us Muslims. That these people in Kashmir, وَمَا لَكُمْ لَا تُقَاتِلُونَ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. And what's happened to the Muslims? وَمَا لَكُمْ, what's happened to you that you do not fight in the way of Allah? One must feed for those who are weak. These Kashmiris are weak. Mina Rijal, the men are weak. One Nisa, the women are definitely weaker. And what is done? And the children. And what are they doing? They're crying out to us. يَقُولُونَ رَبَّنَا أَخْرِجْنَا مِنْ هَذِهِ الْقَرْيَةِ الظَّالِمِ أَهْلُهَا. These people in Kashmir are crying out to us. Just like the people in Palestine. Just like the people in Yemen, in Syria, and all around the world. But today I'm just concentrating about Kashmir. They're shouting out to us. They're shouting out to us, when will Allah Almighty get rid of the oppressors? And they're calling out, وَجْعَلْ لَنَا مِن لَدُنْكَ وَلِيًّا. Oh Allah Almighty, through your grace, send us someone who could protect us. وَجْعَلْ لَنَا مِن لَدُنْكَ نَصِيرًا. Oh Allah Almighty, send us a person from your grace who can become our helper. So a few things we can do. Alhamdulillah, yesterday we saw a big demonstration on the Indian Independence Day with a black day to highlight the suffering of the Kashmir people. And we protested. Our voice was heard, but we need to go further than that. Not just short term, we go out there, we protest, we come back. What we need to do is it might be a better pill to swallow. We need to stop our double standards. Like you've seen in Palestine, there's been a BDS movement, the boycott and diversity sanction movement, where many things are being boycotted, which are from Israel territory, and anything that's related to Israel or exported to Israel, we try to stop that. In the same way, we need to do that with our homes now. How many of us are watching Bollywood movies? And they don't start me and saying that these are free channels. You are still watching Bollywood. You're still watching Indian dramas. You're still watching Indian cinemas. Even though it's free, indirectly you are still supporting it. So when is it going to be time now that we need to stop watching these content? We have better alternatives. Why don't we get our children, even apart from that, why don't we get our children to watch historical things? Why don't we watch our children to watch Islamic things? We are double standard, we are hypocrites, we are munafiqs. When we sit on our homes and we say that we are Muslims and we support Kashmir and we do slogans, but yeah, we sit in front of the TV, we're watching the Indian drama. What kind of Muslim are we? We ourselves are Kashmiri, and are we watching something that is the enemy state? Now remember, a very important thing. Whichever person, whatever struggle there is, when we say we are against India, we're not saying we're against the Indian people. There are many Muslims there, many good people there, people in their country are protesting. We are saying we are against the Indian administration, the Indian government who are doing these atrocities. We are talking against them. We are not against the public. There are many people in the Indian public, in the Indian society, Indians who are like us, who know as human beings, known as humanity, and many people around the world who stand up to our cause. You've been there yesterday, you saw many people who are not Kashmiris, who are people from outside. They are also protesting for us. It's the people outside protesting who are doing protesting. And also, when we go to the shops, we just stop buying things like timber. We stop buying things that are Indian products. We have our own Pakistani products. We have our own Kashmir products. We can do this. Small steps. But the problem is we don't want to do this. We say, oh no, that's not good quality. That might be bad quality. But think about it. Every single time you're eating that morsel, what are you doing? You're letting your own children eat in comfort and peace. Let them live a joy with luxuries. With that, you let your own Muslim brothers die. Are their children so on? Are there women out there? For 10 days now they are on curfew. For 10 days now they are under scrutiny. They are being put down. They are not allowed to, they have got lack of resources, lack of communication outside the world. They're trying their best. There's only a few videos will come out. I've seen myself on WhatsApp or social media. What are we doing? We talk about these things, which are small steps we can take. And how many of these steps that we take for Palestine and they will work to a certain extent. We can take these same steps as well for Kashmir. So my response to you today is that these people have not got a voice at the moment. We need to become their voice. And it's important. Now I'm just saying that those people who don't belong to Kashmir, that why we just talk about Kashmir, this is something that is a general thing in Islam. That whenever you see oppression, it is part of our faith, a part of our religion, that we stand up for that. In Sunnah there is a hadith, the Prophet Sunnah, that the greatest jihad, the greatest struggle is to stand against oppressive ruler. And we all know the likes of Moody. The likes of Moody, he is trouble. He is a tyrant. He is an ill-fated ruler. The way he's ruling, everyone knows he's wrong. Even Western so-called democracies know that he's wrong. And he's got a track record of brutality and treachery. Before he was a prime minister of the country, he was in the army, and the amount of people he killed. So we need to stand up for all these things. And this is now our rights. Because on the day of judgment, Allah will ask us, so what part did you take? That when your Muslim brothers and sisters around the world were feeling their pain, what did you do? Did not just by giving money to charity, did you just raise your voice? Did you sign any form of petition? Did you do any sort of thing? Did you boycott any goods and so on? So we need to take these small little measures, slowly and make them feel. So I request you that, yes, let's keep our du'as. Let's keep our du'as for our brothers around the world and do du'a for them from the bottom of our hearts, but at the same time we need to understand that the struggle that they're going through, they're not alone. And that when they are pleading out to us, inshallah, we do love it for them. We say that we are here for them. Almighty, we are here for them. And remember, when we have mercy upon them, the Prophet said, the one who shows mercy to others, Allah will show mercy upon them on the day of judgment. If you show mercy upon these people today, if you help them whichever way possible you can, that Allah Almighty inshallah will help you in all times. But if we start to become hard-hearted now, then it's our saying, the analogy that you're sitting here and there's a fire down the street, and no one's taking that fire out, and somebody's taking fire out, and everyone starts saying, no, there's something down the street, it's not going to happen. But eventually, if no one stopped that fire will spread and come to your house. Until someone doesn't stop the fire at the end of the street, or the end of the house, or the end of the road, it will carry on spreading, and it will get to you, and then you say, why did I stop beforehand? Why did I think about this? In the same way, if we think that that problem over there in Kashmir, or the problem in Palestine is their problem, it's only that problem, it's not affecting us at all, it doesn't matter to us, then you're wrong. Because that problem will come to us. That problem will come to us one day. Because when we do not understand, when we start becoming hard-hearted, we become away and shun the problems around the world, and we start to neglect them, then a time will come that Allah Almighty will put that time upon us. And then when we will cry out, we say, where is Allah's help? But yet we didn't have all people. So I'll do dua today. Time's gone over now. Allah Almighty give us tawfiq to understand what I said. Whatever I said is from myself is Allah Almighty is hayy. If I said anything wrong, may Allah forgive me. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْمُبِينَ.
Please comment, like, subscribe and share. Please subscribe to Islam One.